on that. Why? It is on the preview. Intro, Intro. All right. So now we got that out of the way. Let's see. I'm going to apparently have music on preview like I haven't had it in a while. So, anyways, oh, I forgot to go over here and turn everything on. Sorry. So, let me just come over here, hit public, and then save. And now, here we are to Facebook. So, hello, and welcome back to Retrieving Sanity with your podcast host, Keegan. And this is your podcast for all mental health, addiction, recovery issues, and topics. And this is actually Aftertakes. And I just spoke with Andy Y. West. That was an awesome conversation because I got to learn all about dopamine, GABA, and glutamate. So, there's a lot that goes on in our heads without us actually knowing. And at the same time, we know it, but we don't pay attention to it, and that's what gets us in a lot of trouble. So, whenever we're talking about dopamine, a lot of people are like, ooh, that's the feel good chemical, right? And they're right and wrong at the same time. So, while yes, it is telling us things that we like and making us go do the things that we seem to like, GABA is actually the one that's telling us, hey, we like this. And glutamate is the one that's going, ouch, no, never mind, that hurt bad. So we have all three of these kind of working in tandem all at the same time in responses to different things going on in our environment. So it's really kind of quite chaotic in there, if I had to say so myself. And I know my brain, and it is very much the chaotic, not knowing what is going on at any point in time. And whenever I do, then I feel good about it because it finally I got the chicken to stand still. Don't ask, I don't know. But the thing is, dopamine is the one that makes us want to go do the things, and GABA is the one that says, "Yes, I liked doing that thing." So it's interesting because I've been led to believe that dopamine is the one that says, "Ooh, I liked that. Give me more dopamine." But it turns out that we can actually hit a ceiling with dopamine, and to lower that dopamine level, we have to do things we don't want to do, and then once the dopamine gets released, or rather the effort has stopped, then the dopamine can go up. So that was really, really weird. And the first thing that popped in my head was kind of like whenever I'm sick for a few days, which hasn't happened in a while, thankfully. Actually, no, I take that back. No, yeah, take it back. It just hasn't been super duper sick. So whenever I've been super duper duper sick and can't get out of bed, running a super high fever and stuff like that, the first day of waking up and not being sick is absolutely phenomenal. It's like, oh, I'm on top of the world. Give me a manic episode. I'll do anything and everything. But the thing is that my body couldn't really do that because it's physically drained from fighting off a disease. So, in regards to that, dopamine and GABA work together in the form of dopamine says, I'm going to want you to go do this, and you're going to go do it. And GABA says, okay, I did the thing and we liked it. So we'll want to do it again. And that's where the cycle kind of comes into play. So she was talking about how GABA can sit there and we can essentially activate it, or rather increase the feeling or the effectiveness of GABA by simply being aware of it. So, by dopamine being the part of us that says, I'm going to move to execute this function, GABA is the one that says, I'm recognizing where my body is in relation to everything around it to accomplish the task. And so on and so forth. And then task is successful and completed, cool. A lot of GABA and dopamine go on, and then everything goes into the rest phase, which is where everything, all the magic really takes place. And the brain goes, hey, I liked that a lot. Let's get ready to do that again. But whenever we find ourselves in a weird state of a dopamine ceiling, we can find ourselves in a weird state of flux, essentially, where it's like, I'm not depressed, but I don't want to do anything either. And it turns out that dopamine can actually erase the circuits in our brain related to movement. So whenever you're sitting there depressed in bed all day and you really feel like you can't move because you literally can't, because your brain's like, I forgot how to do this, it's not lying. You literally forgot how to do it. And you have to relearn how to do that movement again. And you might think, how can I forget how to move my arm? Well, we got to remember that our brains are very complex. Our bodies are extremely complex. So, whenever we move a muscle, we don't just move a muscle, we move a ton of different things in regards to that muscle. And it works in groups. So, essentially, one group could be eliminated from that equation, which, whenever you try to do that thing, it goes, wait, what? And then kind of has a hiccup, and now you're sitting there wondering, well, I used to be able to do that easily. Now I had to put a little bit of effort into it, and it's because your brain literally forgot that x plus y equals z. And I don't care if that's an actual formula or not, I forget now. But the thing is, we think that we have a good idea of what we like and how we respond to those things, but in reality, our brain is trying to figure out the quickest, easiest, fastest way to do things. And that makes us lazy. It gets us addicted to things. And then we start also feeling kind of like we hit a level, like we've reached the epitome of feeling okay. And that's where we'll remain, is just okay. Because I'm doing the bare minimum to do the things that get me into survival. And it's really the sheer fact that we have to essentially do hard things to essentially have a reward. And it goes all the way back to whenever we were still in tribes and stuff like that. And it really does make sense because, like, if you go to the gym to exercise, she said it's recreational because we're recreating the things that we used to have to do. And it's like, yeah, so it is kind of weird that our society gives us these things that we like, that we enjoy, and that we want to have rewards for, but at the same time, they're acting as a detriment to ourselves because we like to indulge in them. And so by indulging in them, we feel like we don't necessarily get the same high that we used to from them, and it's because we literally don't, because we've taken shortcuts after shortcut, and we've indulged in the thing without being grateful for it. We've indulged in it without actually being mindful of it, and so on and so forth. There's a whole bunch of different things that can really go on into dopamine and GABA regulation. And then we also have the glutamate aspect. And glutamate is the part of us that says, no, I don't want to do that. Let's not do that again, please, because the pros and cons are not equal in any way, shape, or form. So essentially, whenever you're sitting there and you get bucked off the proverbial horse and someone says, get back on the saddle, and you take a quick stock of your situation and you go, yeah, no, never mind, that saddle don't look so tasty anymore, then it's not necessarily just you. Your brain has subconsciously gone through a list of pros and cons and deemed that no, the cons outweigh the pros. That's not going to fly in my boat. And you don't want to get in the saddle again. So don't let other people tell you that, hey, just get back in the saddle and it's going to be okay, because maybe it's not. And that's the thing too, is that we have to shift our perspectives a lot of the time to get the things that we want in ways that we didn't necessarily think we needed to go about getting them. So that can be looked at in any number of ways. I don't want to provide an example right now because I'm tired and I just had an hour long conversation learning about all this stuff and I'm trying to divulge it in 10 minutes to you. So there you go. Now, with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this aftertake here, and we're going to speak with, I already forgot their name. Y'all know I'm terrible at names, so please forgive me. Um, Arlene Cohen Miller. There we go. And they are a um, Jewel consultant. So, it's not just that. There's more to it than that, but I'm not about to get into my job form and all that whenever I'm going to say, we're going to end this episode here. So if you liked it, be sure to like it and leave a comment. If you have any problems with dopamine and GABA regulation, definitely check out the book Dopamine Mountain. That's it. See ya.